Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Not a great spin from Susan this morning. Welcome back to another installment in the Quickview series. This one, we got green up on the sign. That means we got green up on the bench. JConcepts Rock Block. And because we have no banana for scale, it is the Class 1 variety of the rock block. 4.19 by 1.53. And you'll notice there's a little bit of dirt on it. They are not fresh out of the bag because testing tires is not arduous, but a test is good only so far. As I say at the end of every single one of these, your results may vary because your environment, your vehicle, we have an infinite number of variables, so we're doing our very best. These tires are already fitted to a vehicle here in the fleet, and they do pretty great, just like most JConcepts Green does. But if it's not on the spreadsheet, does it exist? So, Class 1 rock block, we're building up a backlog of Class 1 tires because for some not insignificant amount of time, we didn't have a dedicated vehicle that we found suitable to test. So, Class 1 rock block, second tire being tested in the current test iteration. This is the foam that comes in the rock block. Ordinarily, JConcepts foams are the traditional, I don't have one specifically, but I have one of just this color, and now we've gone to this color. It is an odd one. It's like they knew Class 1.5, the Canyon thing, was going to be a thing, because I would call this a medium soft. And several Class 1 tires that we've tested in the past have shown themselves to need more weight exerted down upon them. I don't think that's going to be the case with a foam this soft. So the rock block is curiously named. Rock block's a pretty good name for a tire, but this is unquestionably the only properly done Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, in that this on the side we got 4138R. Then on the other side of the vehicle, we have L. So we have handed tires. We have left and right, because these tires are directionally asymmetrical. So we have the row of arrows on the outside, and then over on the other side of the car, we have the row of arrows on the outside. Whereas if you're running any Baja Boss or Goodyear Wrangler MTR that has this similar asymmetric pattern, if this is the right side of the vehicle, if it's pointing towards you, when you move the other one over to the other side, now the row is on the inside. And it always kind of bothered me. So the questionable name, rock block, it's a Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, not licensed. And JConcepts made another tire at the same time called the Boss Man. I don't know if they felt like that was flirting with intellectual property too much, or if something got scrambled in a memo. I don't know what the exact thought process was, but were it me, you would think that the Baja Boss one would be the Boss Man, and the one that looks like a Proline crawler would be the rock block. Proline BFG crawler. But we land where we land, you know? It's JConcepts Green, so we have to make sure to get that lined right out. Bubble juice! It's a Dauber bottle. One of the most commonly asked questions is, what's that stuff you're putting on the tires? It is exactly what it sounds like I say that it is when I say that it is bubble juice. That is what we call the stuff that you buy for children to blow bubbles with. This was a incidental finding that I had from many years of mounting tubeless bicycle tires, which will fight you like a trapped cat. Mounting the most difficult to mount toy car tire quite literally pales in comparison to mounting all but the very easiest. There's a reason people spend Pirelli Cinturato money. They fall onto the rims. Some, I'm looking at you, Schwalbe. I'm looking at you. Oh, God. pan erasers. Oh, I have had some toy car tires that will do what I think they consider to be fighting the good fight. I've had tires where after you get them mounted onto the bicycle rim, your thumbs are red for like an hour from trying to roll that bead over. If they start making tiny toy car tires with Kevlar beads, we're all doomed. We're doomed. So the bubble juice came from that, because bubble juice goes on. What if you've ever stepped, like if the kids have blown a bunch of bubbles and there's bubbles all over the ground, you notice if you step on it, it's not slippery, despite there being a soap component to bubble juice. So when this dries, and these tires have been on here for a little while, it becomes very difficult. You have to like run your fingernail or a popsicle stick along to break the bead loose of the beadlock ring, because it starts off slickery, ends up stickery, and it's great. And then any residue that you've got on the tire, it's not soapy. It's just gone. And what's the great part? Everybody's got a, and I still laugh about it, everybody's got a Dollar Tree, Dollar General, or if you're over in the UK area, a Poundland, which I think is tremendous. You can get a bottle of bubbles for next to nothing, and it will last you next to forever. I've been working my way through a 32-ounce, roughly a liter, bottle of bubble juice for 10 years. You buy, and then you put it in a Dauber bottle like this, and this is what it looks like when you pour it out of the bubble solution, and then this is what it looks like after you've been mounting tires for a while, because there's all the mold release and rubber and diffused compounds and grossness and the stuff that makes your hands stinky. 107. Yep, that is 4.19 by, wow, narrower than I thought, 39. Well, yeah, they say 1.53. If we gave it a little wiggle, yeah, it's 1.53. Truth in advertising, to be sure. Of course, not mentioned, but always present. If a tire is smaller than 5 inches, it has 2 4mm vent holes punched in it at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions. Or if you feel better about the performance, you can punch them at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock positions. That's entirely up to you. Our tire test guide de facto for Class 1.5 is Dusty. He doesn't look dusty right now because we wiped him down before we began this. But he gets really, really dusty. He's got a brother named Rusty who does not get as dusty. Like, I didn't really get the back window cleaned off. So he is an Element Trail Walker body. You can see the Element on the front, and we can see the fronts. See how we got those? And we got those. Symmetrical. Right's on the right, left's on the left. It's all good. This is the guy who I have somewhat arbitrarily chosen to be the Class 1.5 test guy. For those few of here who are not familiar with what Crawler Canyon Class 1.5 is, underneath here, this gentleman is a Mias Gold Rush chassis with a bunch of parts randomly strewn upon it. He does have chassis mounted steering, and he is on SSD Diamond Pros. He does indeed have a dig box, because one of the more recent rules of Crawler Canyon Class 1.5 is a full body, so you need as much tire coverage as you can, but it must be a full body, no tucks, no bobs, no cabs. If you have straight axles, you can have dig. If you have portal axles, you may not. And then a tire of 4.19 or smaller. That is the end of the rules. If we think up another rule in the future, we will reinstitute it and we'll adjust rigs to suit. But this guy is operating as the test guy because he can initiate and thrust forth a level of cruelty, as his day-to-day, everyday tire are trail wheels fitted with Class 1 megalithics. Class 1 megalithics is not a high bar, it is the high bar of every Class 1 tire I have tested across the board, none so good as this. So that is his daily. We've also got another daily over here that's running Bossman, and he will be testing the Bossman. And in my mind forever, these should be Bossman, and the Bossman should be rock blocks. But we are where we are, which is about ready to hit the course. We have currently still not modified the protocol. We are still running the Class 2 protocol with smaller tires, and so far it's working out. Class 1.5 is just small tired Class 2, basically, because, to put it as simply as I possibly can, I am not a great fan of long rule books. I like rules of inclusion, not rules of exclusion. You may have this part, right? You may have a 4.19 or smaller tire. Everything else is excluded. You may have a full body, but if I had more involvement, it would physically kill me with what is happening to Class 2. Class 2 is a competition. It already, if I was involved in formal competition, would kill me what is happening to Class 1 competition, where Class 1 has already become scale regalia, where performance, I wouldn't even say is secondary, it's probably tertiary on the list. Traditional Class 1 with the hard bodies and the cooler in the back and your skeleton driver figure and nonsense. Well, Class 2 by equal measure has basically turned into light sporty. Everything is skid all the way forward. Everything is wasp waist and super high clearance and cut cabs, and they basically look like sportsmen's now. Like what? Then what is the point? We still need something that looks like a truck, and I feel like this looks like a truck. Look at that. It's kind of indicative, is it not? But also doesn't have $700 in scale gubbins on it to make it look as real as humanly possible. That is a pursuit, and I have that pursuit, and I keep it separate. When I'm going out into the course, I want to see performance. So here we have a scale tire. Let's be honest about it. If it wasn't for a zest for life and a quest to encounter all things, to broaden and deepen our knowledge base, I would just be running C1 megalithics on everything that runs a Class 1 tire, because nothing comes close. Which is why we keep testing. We've not tested these formally. We're about to do it now. Class 2 tire test protocol, which is also the Class 1.5 tire test protocol, 10 stations. You're looking for a score genuinely above a 96. Below a 96 it's fine, but you're not going to get the most. So, Rock Block, I love you in Class 2. I feel like I'm going to love you in Class 1. There's a little bit of bag right there. I'd love to see it. We're going to find out from the rocks. We're going to find out right about now. We have, of course, some relevant numbers. 66, 1975. It is cool. It is overcast. The high on the day is only in the upper 80s. That's what green looks like. Ignore the belly hanging. As we came across the midsection right there, which we'll do again. Yeah. There may be an exception, but in the fleet of we have 3 Class 1.5 guys now. They are all between 5.5 and 6 pounds, right in that range, and these seem pretty close to perfect. We come across right there. I'm trying to get a grab with the driver front. We get there and then just straight over. Straight over. We've experienced this before, not exclusive to JConcepts Green, but just in Class 1 in general. We've seen that if you drop that sidewall height down, some of the weaknesses of the tire kind of go away. I don't think that the rock block is directional enough that it will be a poor performer under dig conditions. Dig wants as asymmetrical of a tire as possible. It wants a tire that looks like a pin or a megalithic or something like that. Scale tires tend to suffer a little bit, but we do have a tire, while it has a directional lug, it doesn't have a lot of chevron to it. So we will see how it goes. That would have been another dig moment there. The rims that these were already mounted on are a little wider than this guy's day-to-days. Yeah, once I get this is class 1 and 1.5 for me in a nutshell. Once I get past the mechanicals, away we go. Okay, we'll do a good pivot. We'll go shop. It's a little surgy. Like I said, it's not going to be the hyper optimal dig tire. I think we kind of already know what that is. The Tusk has traditionally shown to be about the limit of what you can do in terms of a scale tread Baja Pro XS. It's not terrible. Yeah, I'd go mid to upper 9.7s on that. Like they didn't resist anything asked of it, but you know, we only round up through combination. Like if he looks like a mid to upper 9.7 at the next one, then we'll round up to 9.8. But starting on a 9.7 is not bad. Those clouds better hold. I didn't bring my hat. Should go a little around here. Oh. Okay. Okay. Get it, Rock Blocks. I know that Dusty has he's got that old like 1960s hijacker status with the rear end all up in the air. Something about the shock angle and the way he transfers. He is sprung quite firmly for a rig of his weight. Oh, they just go. They just go. We get a little bit of the lateral slippiness, but there's nothing out of control. There's no fallbacks. We get over on that. I mean, we acknowledge it's a scale tire. It's a Baja Boss. It's the best Baja Boss. We don't really have anything big in the way of side lug. So we get a little squidge. A little squidge. Remember when I said, okay. Remember when I said we round up if we're putting them together? Yeah, honestly, that's a very high 9.7, kind of closing in on a 9.8 on its own. So 9.7, 9.8, but on the high side, he's got advantage towards earning another point bump. Just really strong so far. And as always, if things are going well, get thee to a Sidehill. We've gotten there now. Well, if it's going to unload, like, look how far down we are. That's kind of wild. Oh yeah, these mirrors are not long for this world. We lost one of the mirrors already. I was like, well, I gotta put them on. Okay, I came in so low. It's super predictable. Oh, well, we've just done the impossible. He just wanted me to see if I could find his mirror. It doesn't feel, okay, in the midships, it doesn't feel, like right here, we are solid. We get to the transition, and it doesn't feel like the tire, I'm trying to get in a little higher here. It doesn't feel like the tire going out, but it does feel like an instantaneous loss of stability. Like right through there, as solid as I have seen. We can get it pointed. Nope. Okay. Strike 5 and you're out. It feels amazing until we get to transition. And there, we've seen the worst tires in the world past that transition through lack of grip. We're just getting a little light, and we get right there, and it just transfers all the way over. There's no weight on the high side at all. We've done the impossible again. Yeah, they genuinely do not want to get up to the top of there. The best I can offer you is a 9.5 because it looked so strong through the middle. If you can't finish, the best you can do is a 9.5. So what we hope is to get back on track here on the beast, because what we want is we want that just clean pull here. Consistent level of throttle and zero hesitation. How about on the shuttle? Oh! That's really good. No tire is the best at everything. There's just an extraordinarily high, forgot a head dig. There's an extraordinarily high level of maneuverability. They are okay. Every tire has a total available grip. Imagine them as sliders when you're building a character in a video game of your choice. You're allocated X number of points. To make this easy, let's say it's 100, and you have aspects to place these points into. You have forward drive, you have basically maneuverability, you have compliance, you have all of these sliders. The Rock Block didn't put all of its points into forward drive. It put more points into the maneuverability aspect, which means generally means the sidewall is a little firmer, because that's going to help us maneuver, but it's not going to help us because what's happening is that shoulder lug, while that shoulder lug is not overly pronounced, that shoulder lug is nevertheless doing an amount of work so high. Like when we get to the next obstacle, I expect nothing but brilliance. When we get to the next obstacle, because that shoulder leg is cutting so hard, that we get into a side hill environment, it's basically over gripping. The low side tire is pulling the weight down to the low side because it's not slipping enough. We can take a tire that's terrible and we can get through the transition because that low side tire is doing nothing. It is in a tense, short-term cooperation with gravity. It's like, I'm going to do just enough to keep us on the obstacle. Gravity, you do enough to keep us stuck down to the surface itself, and it makes it through. The Rock Block and tires of stickier compounds across the board, for a split second, I thought we were going to do a no-wiggle dead pull. When you get a tire with a sticky compound that is absolutely doing the things, good grief. I need to see this one more time. Remember how we had that leftover half a point? We're going to round up. I'm gonna give the Rock Block Class 1 at the Beast a 9.9, which is the highest score you can get, because this right here, combined with what we saw on the other side, just absolutely effortless. Absolutely effortless. You get a clean approach. It just got, that was one-hander the whole way, just one-handed all the way up. It's so good at that. And that is really going to confuse my scoring, because we went 7, 8, 5, 9. So if we take 2/10 off of this one and put it on the 5, we have 7, 8, 7, 7. And that's a lot easier to remember. I don't want to say that across the board, no exceptions, that the more maneuverable a tire it is, the worse it's going to do on the Sidehill. It just, there is a correlation there. We look a little flopped over. Maybe not. Good grief. Okay. I said a thing. I said, I want to see only, bow, bow, bow. I want to see only brilliance. This is skid riding. There we go. We had to bully our way through. I wanted to see only brilliance. It can grip and grab and go beyond my ability to make it do so. Got a little dig stick there. Yeah, it is not, it's not the best dig tire you're ever gonna see. But it's not terrible. In terms of the maneuverability, it's really quite high. Okay, let's get that side loaded again. It's a little, can we dig it? Can we dig it? No, we can't. I look at it from a perspective of reverse is not an option, which is a lot to expect of tires in some situations. If reverse is an option, these are like a 9.8 through here. If reverse is not an option, they're like a 9.6. So that means a 9.7? 7.8. 777. We're getting there. We're getting there. They are, am I underwhelmed? Overwhelmed? Am I whelmed? They're doing what I would basically expect of JConcepts Green. Of course, it's how they do it is where things can get surprising. Got to find a spot. Oh. I contend. Pure forward drive is not their forte. Hook it and go. Maneuverability is what they do. Could they pull the center cut here? Yes. Can they pull the center cut here? No. Do you see that? The guy that's right there below the tailgate? He will grab onto that skid. He will grab onto that angled skid and just hold it like a claw. Like, I know exactly what's happening right there. We can shuttle around it. They are delightfully responsive to different levels of throttle input. An easy 9.7. They're more likely a 9.8. We're also about to test how self-righting goes. Good. Yeah, what? No! No. Get a little involvement of the fronts. Man! Strength through maneuverability. I'm not kidding. What bump? Oh, get out. Now, I know the suspension of the gentleman in question might be playing a part in this, but it's the flattest bump I've ever seen. I did say that those foams are somewhere between a soft and a medium soft. I think that time I managed to get maybe one wheel to break loose. That is incredible bump. And with no steering input, then we get a little mad. It's mad, lad. No, 9/8 on both. 9/8 on both. We're gonna have to retest the megalithic. Come on. Well, look at him. Did you see the hold? Why? Now, Diamond Pros do have a pretty good, and this body, Trailwalker body, see how the rear axle is perfectly flat on the ground? That helps. That helps a lot. So honestly, I can't even really tell how good it's doing at self-righting. A bit of the weakness of this guy's geo and setup is that side hill, right? We get that over compression from too much grip, kind of falls away. But that same setup, here is ridiculous. We are in two-wheel drive right now. Did Dig come disconnected because we're just stuck? We're stuck in Dig. We'll drag ourselves over here and sort it out. In a surprise to no one, the screw fell out of the Dig linkage. Just locked it in Dig. And in a surprise to, at the very least, me, I found the screw on the ground and I threaded it in with my hands, because all we have to do is finish this and wet, and that ought to hold. And then I'll put them back on the shelf and I'll forget to tighten that screw down. Although maybe now that I've said it, maybe I'll remember. Dig still works. Let's not use it too many times. I don't know. Maybe they have more forward drive than I think they do. It's just that there's more maneuverability. You can position really well. Seeing if we could get a swing right there. Like, we can get that tire hooked up over the top. Just can't quite get that angled skid over. Straight axles, angled skid. It's iffy, you know? Get it, get it, get it, get it! It's pretty good. How are they gonna do when fully loaded? Well, they're probably gonna turn into a little bit of slicks. Will they clear well? It's more lug than not. I would regard this tread pattern as a bit more a little towards the drier side. If it's getting a bit loamier, I think a tusk is probably going to suit you better because I think they clear a bit better. Boss Man's going to be in the middle. Yeah, I would put the rock block at one side. I would put in terms of I want it a bit drier. Boss Man kind of in the middle, and then Tusk if it's wetter. Look at the tires that really excel at wet, like Louise Champs, aka Durtrex Deepwoods. Almost that perfect 50-50 lug to void ratio. These are definitely more lug than void, and yeah, see, a well and true dyed in the wool dig tire is just going to keep that rear end in one spot and pivot around it. So they're not terrible at digging, but they're also not great. Like, I would put them at like a, honestly, like a 9.5. This is like an average level of performance under dig. Here at Surface Transition, did really well here, but I do have to acknowledge that if it gets wet and muddy and you get it real, I mean, I wonder, let's see if we can see, because over here it's very silty. Will it pick up? We're just, oh yeah, we greased them up real good. I will get these greased up real good, and then we'll take them to Slick Rock, just like this. Yeah, they're glazed donuts now. We're well crusted up. Not fully mud loaded, but it's not a mud tire, so. That edge. Look at the amount falling off the rear tires. We're basically just trying to clear them. If I go over to this side, we might be able to make it. Yeah. Yeah, they get a little glassy and a little glossy. I guarantee you. Look at me just building the pile down there. I can all but guarantee you that these are going to. This slippery right now, this load up, look at that. Whoo! All right. Now, because we've strewn mud all over Slick Rock, I'm gonna go. So, if Surface Transition doesn't take mud into account, and it just means moving from dirt, I'll clear all that mud off. Wrong way. If it just means moving from dirt to rock, these did well. If they're mudded up, they're going to go the way that a lot of tires that get mudded up go. So now, will they have cleared enough? Oh, not quite. Come around. Yeah, you can, you can't, but I can. You can feel the moment that the lugs clear off. So their wet performance is, this should come as a surprise to no one at all. Their wet performance surpasses their mudded performance. Yep. Yeah, they're absolutely great on wet. So what we'll have to do again is we'll have to judge a tire in a way that we've not judged a tire before. I have to acknowledge that you get them muddy and they do what muddy tires do. Sometimes the lugs aren't tall enough and there's not enough gap in them. So I would at best in Surface Transition, we're going to give them a score of average. Like we're going to go like a 9.5. That's what most tires will do. They don't just fall away. We don't fall off the rock. And then once you get into a little bit of wet and you clear them off, like no deductions on the wet. It's traditional green stuff. the more surface of the tire is in contact with the ground, the better it's going to do in wet. I said I almost dig rolled it, and then I dig rolled it. Yeah. These are a fantastic all wet. This is an all seasons tire. The JConcepts Megalithic in Class 1 scored a 97.7. We've got the deductions basically in terms of surface transition, which I don't think we had the same level of strictness to the testing on the Megalithic. We have the deduction there, and we have the deduction at the Sidehill, which are both 95.5s, which is a full point. So these come in, and the math got squidgy towards the end, but I want to say it's 97.3 is what we come out with. 97.3 puts us in a singular tie with the 2.2 Proline Moab, which is in a tie for 14th place on the board. The Class 1 Tusk is in 12th. The Class 1 Megalithic is in 10th. And the Class 1 Megalithic is above that. There's only one 1.9 tire at all. It's just 2.2s above there. The top 10 is basically, the top 8 is dominated by 2.2s. So on the one hand, I feel like 97.3, yeah, it's true. It's true. If you're in a dry environment, or if you're in a wet, non-dirty environment, they're called rock blocks. If you stay on rocks, bump them up a few tenths. Get them up into the mid to high 97s. If you have to drive through the forest mud to get to where you're going, these are going to take a while to clean out. They are not the tire I would recommend for that. But for mixed use, for the folks of the desert, the 97.3 of the rock block might not even be high enough. I would say 97.5, 97.6. They did really well with a couple of weaknesses. Super maneuverable, more forward drive than I think I'm giving them credit for. Overall did quite remarkably well. And it's nice to get out on the course and test JConcepts green. We're still waiting for a couple tires that have inexplicably not been released. They don't make a full-size 575 Megalithic. They made the rock bump instead. I'd like them to see them do something Injora Loon, like Injora made a Class 1 pin. Who's using that? Give us a Class 1 rock bump, a geologic infection. Give us a pin bar in Class 1. Just want to see it. Rock block, really good. Maintaining the bar for the dominance of the top 25 on the leaderboard by JConcepts. In ninth, the 1.9 rock block, the full-size one, so we did not do as well here. It breaks the streak there. In fifth, LP Rupture. The LP Megalithic is up there. The LP Tusk, the full-size 575 Rupture. The 1.9 Class 2 Bossman, the Class 1 Tusk. The Hold. The regular 1.9 Rupture. The 1.9 Megalithic in Class 2 size. Even the Fling King. The Fling King is in there tied for 20th. The JConcepts Scorpio tied for 22nd. Almost the entire JConcepts... No, now I'm looking. The LP Scorpio, we could not get to work. The 2.2 LP Scorpio is the only JConcepts tire that's not in the top 25. They make JConcepts green is as close as we've gotten to. They've done it. And the Class 1 rock block is absolutely no slouch. 97.3 is a phenomenal score. And we're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on the Canyon. I look forward to seeing you next time in between now and when we meet again. Please, one and all, do your very best to good one, everybody. You got to remember to turn off the hose before I leave so it doesn't explode. And I got to take those tires and put them back on the other guy and take his tires and put them back on him. And maybe, just maybe, tighten that linkage screw back down.